would keep me waiting, I would wait a lifetime. In tricky situations, I will be a lifeline. Nobody's meant to be fighting alone. That's why I take you home. I never felt something like this before, no. Keep coming back for you time after time. Maybe I'm losing my mind, but
yo, guys, what's going on? We're down here in the Rack Studios. We got Gail Kasper on. Also, guys, make sure you check out Planetary Design and Rack Mortgages. Just remember, you tell them Embrace the Power sent you, because it'll be down in the link below when you see it later. Click on it and go ahead and order some stuff for Father's Day, or those people that like to hunt outside. Gail, what's happening, girl?
Oh my God, it's so great to be here. Thank you for having me.
Oh, awesome. Mike G, how you feeling today, brother?
I cannot complain. I got new toys, the Stream Deck. Check it out, man. It's dope, man. I'm loving it. Got new little toys, little gadgets, the holidays. It is what it is.
Isn't that the most fun? Isn't it the most fun when you can get those gadgets and brand new stuff?
Yeah, of course. Hey, well, boys and their toys, man.
I love that. I love that. That's like football. Love football. Love to see the guys excited about the game. So. Oh,
absolutely. And you got something to cheer about, because Jalen Hurts and them are doing pretty good. So you're an Eagle fan, I take it.
Yeah, sometimes I love to watch the players in general. I think that there's some extraordinary talent out there. So across the league. So I kind of keep my eyes open for that.
All right, good. Because as long as you didn't say the Cowboys, we'll be okay.
I think Philly would shoot me.
As you started, you have on your Instagram and a several on your website, you started this kind of men almighty thing. And, in the current environment we're in, where we've been like, and I'm not even going to go down this dark road of 30 years or 15 years plus of ultra feminism. Why did you get into that realm of, starting to talk about, men, some of the issues they're having, but also some of the things they need to kind of, do to go into this 21st century to be just a little bit better at what they do,
Well, that I love that question, and I don't mind tapping into feminism or any of that, because I'm a woman. So, and I work very, very hard to attain the goals that I have. Nothing was handed to me. So I've been through challenges in the world, but the reality is I feel that guys have gotten a little bit lost in terms of the power that they have, because there is so much talk about women and equality and them rising up, that I feel like guys need to see their own power again. So I wanted to start this site with all different areas of improvement in life, that they can kind of regain that control and that power that they've always had.
Whoa. But you're like at the tip of the spear. Let me just be clear, because there's there's a lot of people starting to have this discussion overall over social media. It's actually expanding. And so, you're, believe it or not, you're at the tip of the spear of something that a lot of people are like, oh, why is this happening? Well, it's not happening. I think it's about influence, and you're an influencer. And
I work hard to be. I'm very much my dad. I'm very much my dad. So not afraid to speak my mind, and very strong thoughts.
So why did you think there was a major niche? Because you're at the tip of the spear now. So with you being that person right now, one of those pinpointed people, are you getting any backlash from women on the process of you trying to be pro man or whatever we want to call it?
Right. And that's a great question. I don't know that a woman would feel comfortable going up against me, because I'm very much about fair and equal and objective. So they would have a very hard time coming at me. I mean, I've been in a space where I'm trying to pursue business. A guy wants to take me to dinner, sleep with me. You know what I'm saying? I've been through all of that. And yet it's been the men that have actually seen my gifts, my talents, that have hired me, that have brought me in. So when I look at women and guys, it's been the guys that have supported me over the women. So I've been through my own stuff in the business world, in the real life world. So like I said, I don't think that a woman could go up against me and try to fight this battle, because I believe so much in everyone. I'm just trying to say, hey, let's bring guys back up to the surface again. Let's get them back to who they've been and make them stronger and better. Let's get them to remember who they are and what they're about.
Oh, you hit some key points there, and the one I'll talk on is just the transition from the 50s to the 60s. And I always say this because I'm a historian, so I always give everybody. I said the invention of the birth control pill changed dynamics of the world.
Right? Okay.
It gave everybody freedom. It gave everybody purpose and freedom. But the thing is that you hit a key point is trying to bring it equal. And I've talked to hundreds of women because I was in the military forever. And I still remember a soldier telling me a couple months ago when she called me is that every door that was open for her was opened by a man. And even when she had a female boss, the door was never really, it was cracked, but never open because there was always seems to be some kind of barrier. And it's interesting that we've lost sight of that. Everybody needs a fair opportunity.
That's right.
And so you say you bring up your dad. So what's his background and how did he influence you?
My father was a salesman, went up through the ranks in Sears, and
not the Roebuck.
Yeah, you know what though? I'm a firm believer that he brought its success when it was at its strongest point. It's when he left that it started to go down. So that I think tells you everything. And very strong values. So really pushed us as kids to raise the bar in life across the board, whether that's work, hard work, values, integrity, doing the right thing. And that goes for everybody in my family. Like he was such a strong influence in that way.
So, all right, so how many brothers and sisters do you have?
One of each.
Okay, all right.
One of each. And I am the black sheep. I'm absolutely the black sheep. I went out, spearheaded, the entrepreneurship, fighting for the next level, and they're working full-time jobs, and which is all cool. It's all what makes you happy, but they don't get me. They don't.
You're on TED Talk, and then you were you've been a spokesperson for different platforms. So your niche in life, what did you see yourself as? You said the word entrepreneur, but that's so wide aperture. So when my point is you're a model. So you have all these different facets of who Gail is. What do you how do you reference yourself since you have such a wide aperture?
Right. I know. I classify myself as a world-class speaker and sales trainer, innovator of new sales techniques. So anything that's going to bring thought processes, make me a thought leader, that's, where my strengths lie. So when I'm in front of a group and I've got my processes in place, that's where everything really comes forth, at least for me, my strengths.
Oh, welcome, Gail. Welcome.
Hi, Mike.
How are you? It's great meeting you. You're a dynamic woman because you're your hands in everything. You're motivating people. You're also doing business moves, and therefore, so what motivates you? What makes you go? Like you wake up. I don't know if you have any kids or anything, but I mean, what keeps you going? Because you seem like you're busy as hell.
I am. People have classified me as the most driven person that they're ever going to meet.
Okay.
I'm a middle child, and I have middle child syndrome. Okay, so I have to achieve.
I know that.
So there you go. You know what I mean? That explains it all. I had to be an achiever, and I don't think that ever stopped in life. And I woke up, I went to college to be a newscaster, and that kind of fell through because I thought I would fail during college. So I dropped out of college and moved out to California for a $5 an hour job as a secretary, just getting by. And about 10 years later, I found myself fighting for a TV opportunity job where I had no experience. I was out there selling training programs. I came across this company called America's TV Job Network, and they were looking for hosts. And for some reason, I just said, my God, I got to try I got to fight for this. So every day I was on their doorstep for 3 months. And until the end of the 3 months, when they sat me down and said, look, Gail, we need to have somebody with experience. We're holding auditions next week. I'm sorry. And I said, I'll see you at the auditions. And I went to the auditions. I cried all the way home. But for the next 2 years, for as long as that show was on the air, I was the co-host of America's TV Job. Yeah. Hey. And that's when you ask me what motivates me. Okay, then the light bulb went on. It's like, well, wait a minute. You can have what you want. And I didn't have the experience. I really needed to grow and work on it. I got training and kept fine tuning it. But that's what's the light bulb that said, wait a minute, Gail, I went on to win a national pageant. I've got 2 books that are out there. 2 TEDx talks, which is really hard to attain. I just push. And I would give that message to anybody out there, guys, girls, doesn't make a difference, but to go after what you want with such resilience that it will open up a door for something else, even if what you want doesn't actually happen. So take the chance, take the risk. It's 2024. Don't leave anything on the table. Go for it.
Woo, that's what I'm talking. Powerful. You just motivated me. That is, and here's what's going to lead to my next point is, as I've looked at the fitness of men over the last few years, and I've seen Gordon Peterson, and everybody talks about men's strength in their hands and men's mentally and physically are not where they need to be. Well, I think social media and just technology has kind of changed Western society. And I always say that, and everybody goes, why do you always say Western society, Vince? And I said, because when you look at other countries that don't have the technology yet, the men are still men. They still have to do those things to survive. So I love the thing is that I went and looked at one of your Men Almighty magazines, and I was reading through it, and it was just like getting back to basics, and I went back to a Max Strong thing, like men need to get back out hunting. Men need to get back out shooting their guns. They're not, hunting out here or there. I do more shooting than I do anything. Fishing, just doing what we call guy stuff. So and I saw you wrote something in one of the articles about brotherhood. So you think men still need to get back to their tribe?
Yeah, back to basics is awesome. I think that's so critical. Where my heart goes out to guys is, and this is across for anyone, women, guys, doesn't really make any difference, but with men in particular, is that we're living in a very tough society today. We're struggling to pay bills, to take care of families. Maybe it's a broken home and there's a divorce, and you're a single dad now, and you're trying to figure out how to make this world work, even if you're not a single dad. My mom didn't work, but when my dad would go to the dentist and needed a root canal, he wouldn't get any painkiller. And I had come to find out it was because he couldn't afford it. And he couldn't afford it because he was sending his kids to private Catholic school.
Wow.
So, meaning I think that the men are, they're sacrificing for their families. They're doing everything that they can. And it's a matter of, how do I find the time? How do I fit in fitness? Because I would love to have that 6-pack, but I got to figure out a way to make that happen and fit it into my world. So in other words, I empathize with what's going on. One way that they can do that is to get back to basics. Just get back to what is going on in your schedule that you can find some time to do. Whether it is getting out for that walk and you're with your kids, or they're at the playground, or you take a little bit of a jog and you're playing around with your kids outside, whatever that might be, but do something. One of the things I love to do is shovel. I mean, I know Tampa, you guys don't have to worry about
now,
that.
if you said you were in Wisconsin, I said, you guys are shoveling ice up there in Philly, because I remember back in the day, Philly used to get snow. And every time I see it, it's ice.
Right. But I think too, what is it you can be doing around the house? How can you be, now it's like I have pull-up bars right here inside my place so that I can walk past them and do something. In other words, make your time productive, even if you're sitting there watching television. Find ways to fit it in. It's, to me, not about the perfect body. It's about health. So being as healthy as you can.
That's one thing. I get up at 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, I go to the gym, and everybody always goes, man, what's your schedule? It's like, here's the thing is, you got to make it work. And it's easier to sit around and come back. And, I reduced alcohol in my life, and I just made a lot of changes that I felt needed to happen. So, because my daughter, my youngest daughter, who's like 19, has these comments like, anytime I start getting a little bit of a gut back in the day, she'd go, hey, Dad, you're not meeting the sexy dad team. You need to get back to lose that gut. Oh, she did. And she hurt my feelings one day. So ever since then, I'm like, all right, I'm living in the gym, because she was like on me about it all the time. But hey, so I'm going to transition real quick to USO, because I'm a veteran. I did 30 years in the Army, and you were with the USO. And so tell me, how was that experience being out with the soldiers and kind of doing that USO thing? Because it looked like you had a great time.
I did. And because they looked at me like I was someone, and I look at that situation, and they were, they're the heroes. They made me somebody during that time that I was there. The opportunity to have met them, I had signed 21,000 posters to be sent over to Iraq and Afghanistan.
Wow.
And, I did some personalizing when I was there, but the rest of them were shipped over. But that's nothing compared to what they've done for us and how they've sacrificed. And what an eye-opening experience. Thank you, for your service. It's just irreplaceable. Like to meet them and know, I don't know everything that they've been through, but just the idea that I had an opportunity to meet heroes was just unbelievable.
Well, I want to say thank you to that, because what a lot of people don't understand, and since you're on and you were one of those people that did this, is that it's like World War II. When you go back and look at it, you're removed from society for so long, depending on how long you're deployed. I did 2 deployments, and the fact that you came on and you came out there to visit and talk to the soldiers, it has an impact, because it's something like, and I hate to use the term, the poster girl thing for World War II, they had all the time, the soldiers had them on their plane, but there's just something, the airmen had, but it's just something about that aspect brings so much joy to the soldiers when the cheerleaders come over or whoever comes over, the comedians. That I don't think they realize the impact those guys have when they've been removed from just normal environment for so long. So I want to say thank you again for you doing that for the soldiers.
Yeah, to me, it's like when I look back, it's like I wish I had done more. Do you know what I mean? Because it was so impacting for me. And I stayed in touch with maybe 150 of them while they were over there. So after they left, the airport, McGuire, I did stay in touch with a lot of them through email.
You were at McGuire. So, I went out of Dick's. Yeah, I went out of there.
Okay. All right.
I know. Hey, Mike, you got something, man? Why are you smiling over there?
He's speechless.
I said, excuse me, I'm sorry. That was me. I was never in the military, so I'm just listening to all this military talk. So, I'm just in the zone, Vince. I'm just in the zone.
I love it.
We have a great guest. Like I said, she's dynamic. She's writing books. She got 2 books. She's doing shows. She's in magazines. It's nonstop. See, I like that.
Thank you.
Right.
Like I said, I thank you. Thank you for helping me get my message out there. Like that's a gift to me. I took that really seriously, when we set this up, and I had mentioned to you that I was supposed to fly out earlier today, but it's too important. It's too important, to come through for you guys and for myself. It's like a win.
Oh, I appreciate that, Gail.
I believe that your strengths should come through no matter what they are. And when it comes to fitness stuff and working out, oh my God, the sacrifice that I have to go through before a shoot in terms of what I'm eating and working out and doing without. And I don't go out anywhere. I don't even go out and have a drink because I'm not going to drink. You know what I mean? Like the discipline is incredible.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's ridiculous what that sacrifice looks like. So,
well, I was on Instagram today just before you came on, and there's one person, he made this comment, and it's in line with what you said, and I wish I could find it real quick, but I can't. He literally stated this. He goes, why are we promoting body positivity when you really should stand back and look and appreciate hard work, and that people staying in shape and the amount of work it takes to be able to stay in shape and maintain a lifestyle? Why is it being put to the backside, and we're promoting and making it okay to be out of shape and know your truth or whatever he said? But he really brought me to thinking that, the people that get up in the morning and put themselves through the diatribe of trying to stay fit, that should be, he said, everybody can't do it. That should be, kind of celebrated, not ostracized.
Yeah, it absolutely should be. And I get frustrated. I will tell you, I get frustrated because I hear women, I've had a hard time losing weight. I have a hard time doing that. I've had my own issues, my own health issues that I have to fight through to maintain my shape. But there's no easy route for anything. I just now have to work harder. But like, there is a way to figure things out. I think that people just don't try. You know, I have to come up with answers, and to the point that I annoy people because I have to come up with the answers, and I'll do the research until I find those answers, or I'll try different things until I figure it out. But believe me, I've been through my own health stuff. So like, you know, being thinner is not, it didn't just come to me in life. That's not just my, you know, the way that I've been. I have to work at it. And I think that's what's important that people need to get, is that if they can find a mentor in the fitness world that has figured some of those things out, that does have a plan in place, and you are willing to follow it. So don't, you know, say, okay, yeah, I need that plan, but wow, that's hard. So I don't really feel like doing that. Then you're not going to have the results. So, and I am a certified fitness trainer, but you really got to figure it out. You got to figure it out.
Add that on the list, everybody. Add that on the list. An author, a motivational speaker, a fitness trainer, a model. Come on, man. And it keeps on going. It keeps on coming.
Oh my God, I love you guys. It's like the best thing ever. If I got all caught up in, you know, what's going to happen, you know, to people in their 30s, what's going to happen to people in their 40s, what's happened to me in the past, then I wouldn't have accomplished all the things that I have. So I don't reflect on, sit and think about, just like with the guy thing. I don't sit there and say, oh my God, you know, it's hard for women. I don't sit there and say that. I go after my goals, and whatever happens in that process happens. And I think if we as a world would stop worrying about what everybody else is doing or where we are, okay, I'm 40, I'm 50, I'm 60, or whatever the age is, stop worrying about it and start living. Then you're going to find an internal peace that's going to take you to where you want to go. But this bullshit about like worrying about, you know, what other people are thinking or saying or where they're at is not helping anybody, and it certainly isn't helping them.
Well, I mean, it's contributed to like the mental health of our society. I mean, the amount of rants I see on Instagram, sometimes I literally go, you know, you might need to go jog or something, you know.
And I think that is the key. The more unhappy you are in your life, the more you're going to attack other people. Start finding who you are. Start building those strengths. Start working toward your goals. Forget about everybody else. Because that's really what's happening, is that I'm not happy with myself. Well, you're not happy with yourself, then go out there and start living. Stop sitting on your ass, do something about it.
That was Max Strong's message last week. I don't know how hard it is just to get outside and do something. I'm a David Goggins fan anyway, so you know. All right,
I love him too. I think he's awesome.
So what advice would you give modern men today in our society if you know, you've talked to hundreds of men on different things. I read your book. You've talked to dating coaches. What are some of the advice nuggets you've taken since you've taken on this challenge? What are some of the things you've learned that you say, hey, you know, if you had to give a message out to young men today about dating, what would you tell them?
Work on confidence would be the number one thing that I would say, is in this confusing world of guys, girls, you know, who's what, where, and rising above, figure out who you are, work on you. Don't worry about, I got to find a girl. I got to find a girl. I got to, you know, I want her to be hot. I want her to be this. You know, worry about building yourself. Worry about education. Worry about, you know, finding a hobby that you are so skilled at and so talented at that a girl is attracted to you. So find that space that you fit into it. It's all about you, and the world is attracted to who you are. It's really the same advice that coaches give to women when they're dating. Stop worrying about going out to marry a guy and start to live your life. For guys, I would say work on all different elements of you, but build that confidence.
Right. And it comes to building wealth. And advice I get, because I coach football, The advice I give young men all the time is, from 18 to 30, you need to try to build your wealth. You need to stop worrying about who's driving the Ferrari, who's driving the Lambo. You need to be focused on this. And I realize they're inundated with all this stuff from the Tates and everybody else that's on media about all these toys that boys have. But the thing is, that's a 1%, and you need to look at it from a different lens, as in, I got to build my wealth and grow who I am first. And I think that's today, the messaging is so, young men are conflicted with the messaging today.
Yeah, and you're in a great space because they're trying to build excellence, in a sport. You're trying to build excellence, and that they have to. Like, if I were in that space where I'm just working with a bunch of young men, it would be about posture and public speaking and refinement in those areas, that they would have that power in themselves to take it forward into college and after college and work and all of those things. Meaning they've got to start to take life seriously now. The discipline is key now, so that in the future it becomes easier for them, because life is never easy to begin with.
Oh yeah, you're absolutely right, and it's the coaching and mentor. We used to have a saying back in the day when I was coming up, is my boss used to always say, "Hey Vince, my job is for you to replace me." We don't really do that anymore in our society. There's the mentoring. So do you have any like groups or anything that you do right now that you kind of try to help people navigate the world? And then you have coaching on there, but do you kind of have groups that you meet with to kind of just talk to people about the next level in their life?
I would say have people email me directly, and I can figure out more about what their situations are and then redirect them in certain spaces. So have people email me.
All right. So you want them to go to your website, or do you want them to go DM you?
They can DM me on Instagram. That's totally cool. I get all my DMs, or they can go to gail@gailkasper.com. That is my personal email address. So
yeah, I was shocked when we wrote. We were like, well, let's see if Gail will come on the show. We were shocked when you wrote me like right back. I was like, what? I said, Mike. I said, she wrote us right back. I said, all right, too cool, too easy, man, too easy.
I know. It's to me, that is like you get back to people, you respond, you take responsibility when you don't. Like I was supposed to have a conference call a week ago, and it was the second time I missed the call, and I'm like, I got to call this woman and just I just screwed up. Like, own it. Crap happens, and just own it. I said, I can't just text her back and say, sorry, missed it. I had to call her and say,
right.
I am really a screw up, apparently.
You got to go old school.
Oh my God. Like own it in life. Don't run from it. Again, that's just another message across the board, to take responsibility. I don't see enough of that. People hide, and ultimately you're going to be a conflict within yourself when you hide. It's the freedom of saying, yeah, I screwed up, or whatever that might be, however you handle it, that will enable you to be at peace with yourself. So
yeah, that accountability piece. Hey Mike, before we get out of here, what you got, Mike G?
Man, it's been a great pleasure, Gail, to have you on the show.
Thank you.
It's a great time right now going into the new year. It's going to be the second New Year's show on our caliber.
Thank you.
And I wish you a good trip. And it's great to have you.
Thank you so much for having me here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Gail, you stay blessed, and I appreciate you so much for taking the time to come out on the show and hit up with us. And as me and Mike G always say, keep it rolling.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me, Vince. It's been great. I could have talked to you guys all day.